Good morning, everyone. Gina coming to you from Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and so excited to be here with you today. Today's class is the Brushed with Beauty Stamp-a-Stack. So we're going to make 15 cards with that. Five designs, 3 of each design. So that's what we have coming up today. When you guys get on, say hello. Tell me what is going on in your world. Exciting and new. I hope everyone's still staying warm. It feels like we have a little bit of a warm-up. We're not quite, we're on the borderline of negatives now versus -30. So we're having a slight warm-up here, but it's still a little bit chilly. Hopefully by this weekend it will warm up. Good morning, Mary. How are you this morning? So I have lots to share with you guys. I have lots of classes that you guys can order, lots of classes coming up. So I'll get started with that while you guys are all coming on, and then we'll get to stamping. So the first thing I have here is every month I do a scrapbook workshop. They're the workshop kits that we have, but I do 6 alternative pages and 5 cards with them. So this is a product-based class. It's a $70 order with me, and then you get an additional kit from me that has extra die cuts, gems, ribbons, envelopes, card bases, things like that from me. So here are the 6 pages that we did. So you guys have until this weekend to place your order for most of these classes. Some of them will have a bit of an extension on them. But if anyone wants to, hello Leanne, if anyone wants to make Christine's shipping date, her shipping date is next week, so I need to be able to prep for shipping. And here are the 5 cards that we created using the kit also. So like I said, all of this is available through this weekend if you want shipping with Christine next week. If you want your own shipping, those of you, if you don't have anything with Christine, I can change the dates a little bit, but to meet Christine's shipping date, many of you get classes from both of us, so just keep that in mind. Then I also had, earlier in the month, our technique class was all about shaker cards. I love to make a good shaker card, and here were different ways to create a shaker card. So these kits are also available. It's $22 for this kit plus shipping, and the reason I do a lot of shipping with Christine is so many of you ship with Christine and with me, and this helps save you guys a little bit extra. So we have these 4 shaker cards. Then we have the Morning Create, which I just did on Monday. So these are available. So this class is $19 plus shipping. So you get all 3 of these cards, and like I said, these 2 would be more Valentine's. You could definitely turn them into a birthday card if you wanted to. This card would be great as a wedding card, a birthday card, any type of anniversary or celebration. So it doesn't have to be strictly Valentine's. I know not everyone does Valentine's. And then coming up next week, I have bingo live in person in the Hive here. So we make 2 cards and play 6 games of bingo, and there's prizes and all sorts of goodies. That is on Monday evening at 6 o'clock here in the Hive. Then I will be live next week, Wednesday the 4th, and we're playing with vellum. So we're going to show you different ways to use vellum beyond just using it as a die cut or a background. So here I've created, I use alcohol blends and alcohol and to create this background on vellum. This is what they call the stained glass technique. So I'll show you how to do that. This one I've always wanted to make a vellum card, like use a vellum as a card base. So that is this card. So when you flip it open, you have just the embossed image there, but then you open it like that and like that. And you can also use vellum as a shaker. So I have this lovely and beautiful set here that I did. Miss Mary, do you recognize this flower? This flower was my inspiration for this card. When Mary was here, we put some flowers together, and this was sitting on my table. So that is what I used to create this card. So beyond window sheets, you can also use vellum to create shaker cards. And then today, oh, I got one more class to show you. So a card buffet coming up next week, and we had all these really great, amazing online exclusives just launched. So if you're a demonstrator, you can pre-order these online exclusives. They'll be live for customers in March. And there were just a few sets that were, they just like sang to me, like put me in their basket. And one of them is this soccer set, and they also have a veteran set. And I was able to get a soccer card done this morning. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. So this is hot off the press as of 30 minutes ago. And so this is one card that we will be making in our card buffet. Now, I wasn't able to, I didn't stamp the inside yet, but look at this card. How cool is this? I cannot wait to make some scrapbook layouts with this. So this is one of 6 cards you'll be able to create for the card buffet. The card buffet, I don't know when I'll be doing that one online because I added that. It will be in person next weekend. And the dates for the online, I have to check with Christine. So really cute, fun soccer set. So very excited to bring this to you guys. So that's what I kind of have coming up for the next few weeks. Of course, there's a lot more coming up in February, but this is what I've got so far that's completed. I hope to finish the card buffet today so that Christine can show all of you during her showcase on Friday. But anyways, let's get stamping, right? So good morning, Kimberly. You're coming from Northern Indiana. We are using the Brush with Beauty Suite. So the Brush with Beauty Suite comes with 2 different stamp sets and 2 sets of dies. So you have one that's more florals, and it has dies that coordinate with it. And then this one comes with more labels, and then it cuts out these words in different layers. So really beautiful set, and the paper is just absolutely stunning. So let's bring our paper in. Now, when I created the Stamp-A-Stack, I did it in hopes that I would use about a half a pack, not quite even. And from there, you would have the rest of the half a pack to create whatever you wanted with it. Whether you wanted to create another 15 cards with it, or you want to do something else with it. But look at this DSP. Oh. And of course, it's got some of my favorite shades in here. So we're bringing in our peaches and oranges and all of my favorite colors here. Some mossy meadow, a little bit of darling duckling. I did not use this piece, but you could definitely create a card with it. But I used every DSP in some way, minus that yellow one. So here is it. So for this class, it is $60 plus shipping. Included in this class, you'll get a full pack of the 12 by 12 DSP, and then a pack of gems. So they have this Pearls of Beauty, and we have this white and gold ribbon. So you'll get a full pack of this, and all of the envelopes and die cuts and card bases and things like that. So that's a $60 order. This class is online today. I have to-go kits if you want a to-go kit, and this class will be in person this Saturday and next week Saturday. So lots of things coming up. All right, so let's get started. I thought I turned the camera around. Apparently I didn't. We are going to pull out our packet, and we're gonna make 3 cards at a time. I'll show you kind of how to do a little bit of assembly line. Leanne, you've been gone for a while. That is correct. Your uncle broke his hip, and he's starting to get better now. Well, I'm glad to hear that he's getting better. It's hard when you've got to care for someone and help them out. So good to hear he's on the mend. So our first card is going to be, what am I pulling out here? I believe is this card here. So look at this card. Look how pretty it is. And very simple card that uses the DSP. So you're going to need this DSP here. It's got the little polka dots on the back, and there's some petal pink. So that's this yellow paper here. You're going to use the back of that. Okay, so for this piece here, doesn't matter what direction you really put it in. You can put it in whatever direction you want. This needs to be 3 3/4 by 5 1/8. So I'm going to cut my 5 1/8. That way you can get 3 across. So you'll still have a half a piece of paper left over. So it's going to be 5 1/8. I think it's supposed to be 5. I think I might have erred. Hold on. Because I have the same dimensions written down for both. My Mossy and my DSP. Yes. Okay. This correction here is supposed to be 5. So I apologize. So cut this at 5. You could save this little strip and glue it to the bottom of your paper. I am going to just toss it. And then 3 3/4. So you're going to cut 3 of these. You got a little half strip here. And then for this piece here, now this one you want to pay attention to your direction. So we're going to start by cutting it at 2 3/8. No, 2 1/4. I keep looking at the Mossy Meadow directions and not the DSP. So 2 1/4. By 4 1/4. And you need 3 of these. So you're going to have to bring in one more strip here and cut this at 2 1/4. And 4 1/4. Hello, Mary Carls. Long time no see. Let's see, you've been watching while you recover from shoulder surgery. I hope that is going well. I'm sure that's not fun. I know Bonnie has that coming up too. Oh, get them healed while it's winter time so that when the weather gets nice, you're all feeling better. Okay, so we have lots of pieces here. So your mats are going to have some die cuts out of it already. Your inside pieces, some labels. Good morning, Mary Novak. So we're going to glue all of our DSP onto our Mossy Meadow. Let's try the other glue. Good morning, Mary Novak. Did you get hit with the winter storm? Just curious here in Kansas. So we have that layer. So the nice thing with this, it's really, once you have everything together and cut, I must not have cut this one right. Let's try this again. Or I didn't cut my green one correct. Could be either one. I've got a little bit of sticky here. So we'll wipe that off our cutting board. Okay. I'm getting it everywhere. A little entertainment for you on a Wednesday morning. You only got 3 inches, but you have the cold temps too. Oh, so you got both of them. That's not cool. Well, I'm guessing I cut my green piece wrong here. Hopefully I don't do that with your guys' kits. Okay, we're rolling with it. Now these, let me make sure everything fits right first. They're gonna go on your green mats like that. I'll blame this on maybe me being tired last night. I worked a 12-hour day yesterday and then came home and cut these kits when I was done with work. So we'll blame it on that. So if I got any cutting errors, hopefully it was just because I was tired last night. And okay, so I'm gonna glue all these layers together. I did so good with not putting glue everywhere, and now this one I did. So usually you don't want to put glue all over when you have your die cuts, or you'll have a mess. So you want to apply it on your green. Like that. Okay, and now, where's my card? Here we go. My card is flipped over here. We're going to glue these right onto our card bases. Now make sure you burnish all of your card bases. I've done that already. I did that last night, so I don't have to do that. Oh gosh, it finally stopped snowing in Indiana, but it was -4 this morning. Oh, thank goodness you can work from home. That is not fun. So how much snow did you guys end up getting in Indiana? Now, I don't really feel like this paper, it does have a direction, either it goes this way or up and down, but I feel like with this card, you could do it either way. So just be mindful of that when you're cutting. And the same with your flowers. Be mindful of how you're cutting your DSP so that everything is in the right direction. I did that this morning. I was all set to cut. I made my first slice on that soccer card, and I cut my paper the wrong way. Oh, I was so sad. You had 7 inches on top of what you already had. Ooh. I have to say, a lot of our snow went away. Then we got some snow after Christmas. But now we just have lots of ice. Not so bad in the city, but on the country roads like where I live, we definitely have more ice everywhere. Okay, so we're gonna pop this panel up, and I do this, and I thought that I didn't look at my card hard enough. I get so excited stamping with all of you that I don't always pay attention. So before you glue this down, adhere your ribbon. Are all of you laughing back there with me? Going, she did it again. I would do this all the time when Chris and I would stamp together. She'd be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm putting my card together. And she's like, no, 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 you gotta put your ribbon on. And, well, you know. I make all these mistakes now so that hopefully when you put your cards together at home, you're not making the same mistakes that I am. So it's do learn from me what I make a mistake on. So I'll see if I can maybe tuck some of these under. Oy, oy, oy. Maybe I can pull them up a little bit. It's on there pretty good. You don't see, well, yeah, you do. So you see how I have it wrapped there? And you can see it on the ends, and I have it a little bit above and wrapped around there. So we're gonna try this, and we're gonna hope for the best. Okay, one side down. Might be a little lower than I want, but we're going with it. Oh man, people they do need to slow down. I think we have, and I'm sure a lot of cities have this, like a Facebook scanner page and stuff where we hear, like there was just one this morning, and I would think where the roads were where this accident happened were clear, and a semi and a car this morning. And like you said, it's really just people need to slow down and pay attention, and please be off your phones when you're driving. I think that's a lot of it. We're so distracted with everything, and you know, every day I hear all these accidents, and it's so sad. Okay, now I was so worried about tucking that ribbon in, but I gotta put my panel on too. So the panel is gonna slide underneath here. So put your DSPs all together first, then wrap your ribbon around. I mean, there's so many accidents every day, and just kind of crazy. So what has everyone been working on with all of the winter snowstorms and things like that going across? Have we been working on any of our stamping projects, or what have you guys all been up to? I have to get my card buffet done. And then I need to take a little bit of a break because I have taxes that are due this weekend. So I have to get those filed. But I have to do some of my paperwork first. So hopefully I can get the card buffet done today and get my taxes done and then get back on creating for February. Big goals I have, right? Okay. Nothing like waiting till the last minute, right? I've had all month, but I've been creating all month. We had the escape, and then it's prep for classes, and I don't know where the holidays went. It was funny, I was talking to customers yesterday, and we were talking about, you know, the holidays, because a lot of them I saw right before the holidays. So this is the first time I've seen a lot of people since they had the holidays, and, you know, you're asking, well, how were your holidays? And we all had to sit there and kind of think, like, the holidays were almost a month ago already, and, you know, stop and think, well, a lot's happened between now and then, so. Kimberly, you are trying to purge your craft closet and move it into a new craft room. Oh, how exciting. Nothing like going through all your stuff. And now the only problem is, I don't know if you're like me, but the only thing with purging through your closets is, oh, you find some really pretty stuff, and then you get lost in all the pretty stuff because it's so pretty to look at, and you forgot you maybe had it, and you get more distracted than you do get things accomplished. So hopefully you're a little bit better than I do and not getting too distracted by all the goodies you have. Bella was working on a project for her boyfriend for Valentine's Day, and she's like, Mom, do you have any glitter? And I looked at her, and Glenn looked at her. Does your mom have glitter? Like, seriously, what kind of question is that? I'm like, yeah, I have all sorts of glitter. And she went in the basement and looked through my glitter stash, and she's like, oh, Mom. And she comes up with this pretty pack. I'm like, oh, but you can't use that pack of glitter, guys. It had all these pretty colors in it. And the other pack she had too had pretty colors in it, but I was like, oh, you can't do that. It's too pretty. Oh, too pretty to be used on your teenage boyfriend who won't appreciate it, right? And you've been procrastinating on it a little bit. Oh, I know, like, you think of all these other things you could be doing or should be doing, but it feels good to do all that too. Okay, so I'm going to put my labels aside. And then you have some vellum outlines for your flowers. Now, just know one thing with these flowers is they are not meant to line up. So just know that when you put these flowers together, find which way you like it best, but they are not meant to line up perfectly. So keep that in mind when doing that. And then we have our words. So we have because. So I am going to adhere my words together. Now, if you were doing this at home, one thing to make this really, really easy, hello Deanne, would be to use our adhesive. We have adhesive sheets, and put a piece of adhesive sheet behind your, or on your paper, on the back of your paper, and die cut it, and then this would be a sticker, so you wouldn't have to worry about putting adhesive on, and especially in such tight little spaces here. And with these words, there are actually 3 different dies. And on one of the cards, you'll see that. But there's 3 layers to this. So you can mix and match how you want these dies to be. All right, my fingers are gonna work. Here we go. There we go. So now we have our words put together. Now this is an option. If you don't have the stamp set, you don't have to do this, but I want to show you guys that you can stamp on these flowers too. So with these flowers, you have both a solid image and you have an outline image. I'm going to just use the outline image, and I'm going to bring in Petal Pink. Now this card, I did not stamp the flower. I'm going to just stamp it for fun because we're here and we're live, and well, why not, right? So find where your stamp lines up. Something like that. So that is how your flower looks. So this is just using the outline of the stamp. So we'll stamp 2 of them and then we'll leave 1 blank. And while we're stamping, we're going to stamp the insides of our cards. So we'll kind of put these all aside. I'm going to stamp my flowers since I have my Petal Pink out. And so this is the solid image. And we're going to stamp that off on our scrap paper and then bring it in like that. Now, this is something that would be really great to use the new Stampin' Positioner with, where you could just line everything up on the Stampin' Positioner and just keep sticking your paper in, and your flowers and your stamps would line up perfectly each time. Now, we'll take our outline here and try to line this up. Pretty close. But if I had that Stampin' Positioner here, I could line them up perfectly. Okay, now I am not going to put a sentiment in this one because I'm going with the sentiment, I appreciate you. So I guess I kind of want to leave it blank because maybe I'll make it a thank you card. I might make it a birthday card. I don't know what I want it to be. So I am going to just leave a sentiment on for now. And we'll bring in Mossy Meadow. You are loving it, so you've been using it already. Any tips and hints you can give us for the positioner? It was funny, I pulled it out of the box on Friday and I'm like, I don't know how to do any of this, and I couldn't find the holes, but I found the holes later on how to do the one. I didn't know how the one little attachment lined up, and now I know. I was so excited. I had just gotten my box in about 2 hours before I did my live. So I just grabbed it and threw it in my bag, and I was so excited. And I pulled it out and I'm just ripping through it because I'm just so excited to look at it and see it. Okay. So everything is stamped now. Don't forget to stamp your envelopes. So now you can take your Wink of Stella. Uh-oh, mine's running dry. But you would take your Wink of Stella, color up your flowers, your vellum. I need to put a little alcohol in there. Ink up, or add some alcohol to it. Ink up with your Wink of Stella. And then I just put a little bit of a glue dot right there. And glue it. And like I said, these are not meant to line up, so put them on here how you see fit. Not sure if you like it better than the Stamparatus. Yeah, it'll be interesting, that little panel, and kind of doing the hinge stepping, how that's all going to come into play. Okay, so now get out your dimensionals and add dimensionals to the backs of all of these, or don't. I know some people don't like to do as much popping up as I do. But I love having dimension on my cards. Oh, you just have to press down on the outer edges versus not necessarily on the stamp. Interesting. Yep, one of those things, you know, it's brand new, so it's getting used to something all over again. And I'm sure as we, you know, people have only had it in their hands now for a few days, we will get to hear more tips and tricks on using it. All right, time to get our cards, finish assembling them. So we'll glue our insides right away. Now, how many of you are Basic Beige fans? I love Basic Beige. And you don't have to press that hard. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to peel the backs off of all of these dimensionals. I'm going to make a mess here. So I feel like I'm making like swaps right now. You're just going through and doing each one at a time. I do kind of miss my husband over here. Sometimes I can get him to peel all the backings off for me, and then I can just pop things on a card real quick. So, Mary, do you use your Stamparatus a lot? I'm just curious. I did for a while, and now I did just dig it back out when I use the Boardwalk Fun to do the roller coaster. I felt like I needed a Stamparatus for that to get a good, crisp image. So, your word because pretty much gets centered right above or on your ribbon here. And then you're going to take your sentiment, and this is going to go slightly to the right. And actually, because you have this side popped up already, to even it out, you should put an extra dimensional on the edge here so that it all lays more straight and smooth. There you go. There's card 1 here. We'll set that aside. Like I said, because goes in the center, right above your ribbon. Tuck in your flower. Good morning, Miss Karen. What are you working on today? And like I said, I want to see that ribbon coming through here. I like that little bit of gold. So you can decide, do you like your flower stamped or do you like it plain? And of course it looks way better with some Stella on it. But mine seems to be dried up. Okay, so then what I did with my ribbon here is I just took and made a knot. And you can tie it around the ribbon, or you could make a knot and just glue it on. And I tucked mine, but maybe to make things faster and easier for all of you this morning, I'll just tie my knot and then use a glue dot. And you are just finished up the reviewing of the schedule. Is this where I say I'm going to go in there and change it? No, I'm just kidding. And then you've got some projects for her. Nice. And then this will get tucked in the corner like that. And I went with knots. You could definitely make a bow with this, but I do find that it's kind of a bulkier ribbon and it does like to shred a little bit easier than other ribbons. So I feel that the less pulling that you do on it, the less shredding of the ribbon. So to make a simple knot, And there's not a lot of space right there either, so. So this is our first set of 3. And then we're gonna finish up with some gems. Where'd I put the gems though? Can anyone see my gems through the camera for me? They're right here. They're over here on the side. Everything's always right in front, right? Now, these gems come with white, coral, and this really pretty crumb cake color. So feel free to pick whatever color. Now, if you don't want white, because I feel like there's a lot of vanilla, I didn't necessarily love the white, but you can color these also. So keep that in mind. Oops. Flying gems. But these are super pretty. In case you can't tell that on screen. And sometimes your sticky stuff sticks on the paper and not the gem. So just stick your gem back on and push down a little bit harder. So there we go. There's the first set. Our second card will be this one. I really love this color combination together. It's very pretty. I'm not a soft person as far as pastels, not my favorite thing, but I do like the softness with a little bit of boldness with the Mossy Meadow and the Calypso Coral. I think it's super, super pretty. Okay, we have our insides. You're gonna have all your little pieces here. Actually, those. There we go. We have that. So all we need to do is cut our matte piece for this. So we'll bring in our trimmer. And it's this sheet here, has a little bit of a crumb cake border, has the stripes on the back. So this one is going to be 5 1/8. And 3 7/8. Now, you could, if you don't want to, I don't mind the border, but you could, because you'll have extra space here, you could take your 1/8 of an inch off here if you didn't want that border. Okay, so that's all the cutting for that card. So we're gonna glue these onto our Mossy Meadow mats. Let's make sure they all line up okay. Make sure I didn't make any weird cuts like I did on the last card. You know, these would make really beautiful, like, wedding cards, too. So for those of you who have seen the online exclusives, what is your favorite set? Does anyone have one? Like I said, my two favorite were the soccer set that I showed you earlier that I made the card for, and the veterans set. Now don't forget too, this is the last week to earn bonus day coupons. So you have it until February 2nd to earn your bonus day coupons, and then you can redeem them starting February 3rd. I think I might have misquoted that on my video the other day. Stampin' Up! Tends to do Tuesdays and Wednesdays for their things versus the, you know, the first of the month or whatever. So sometimes I get a little confused on all of that, but all is good. Okay, so now we're gonna lay our ribbon down this time before we glue our mats down. How's that sound? So we're doing it towards the bottom, so just decide which way you want your DSP to go. I love this ribbon though. I think it is so pretty. Paradise Garden and Rollin'. Critter Crew. Oh yes, I think the Critter Crew is cute. Oh, Rolling Waves. Yes, I got that set too. I really like that set. I will admit I am a complete sucker for anything beachy. So seashells and palm trees and things like that will always be probably at the top of my list. So we'll be using the Rolling Waves also as a card for the card buffet class. So let's see, I got a soccer card, a veteran card. We'll do the Rolling Waves. What other sets did I get? Oh, there's a like a jam set. That's going to be one. Trying to think. That makes 4, so there's 2 more. I had sets that I wanted to order, but my order was getting a little out of control, so I had to put some stuff back, so I had to behave myself a little bit. Oh, Rolling Waves is out of stock. Oh, that stinks. Well, Karen, good thing is you could use your bonus bucks to, bonus day bucks to get that set then. Gosh, I don't know why I can't think of the other sets I got. It'll come to me later. Okay, so I put glue on all of these already. And now they can get glued to your card base. Just make sure you put it on your card base correctly. So we got our petal pink card base. There we go. So you're going to have some vellum leaves. So vellum, so exciting to have vellum back. They haven't had it for a couple years now, and they brought it back. So that is super exciting. So once again, we have the words because. So we're going to glue them together. I have to say, this online exclusive drop that they have is a really nice online exclusive. I really wish they had these in a catalog for people to view. But, because I think so many of you miss out on some really great online exclusives. Woolly Friends is on out of stock too. Wow. I should probably look at that list. I have to place one more order yet. So I better look at that list before and see what I need to get before it's gone. Anyone know if the Easter Bunny set is available? I have to get that one yet. That one's in the catalog though. Okay, so we have all of our becauses together. Now we're going to glue on our vellum, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue at the bottom because you won't see that. Always looking for ways to hide our vellum. So this leaf will go like that. And this one will go over here. And don't forget to add your Wink of Stella. Your Wink of Stella really looks pretty on this vellum. And one more set here. So just like that. And then we have because, so we'll pop that up. Actually, we'll do our stamping so we can do all of our popping up at the same time. So we're going with It's Your Birthday. In Mossy Meadow. I re-inked my ink pad and it seems to be a little uneven as far as the color goes. There we go. on our inside, I think I'm going to go with these little flowers here. I haven't used these yet, so a solid image and a detailed image. So we're going to stamp off our pretty in pink. Flying box, look out. And then I'm going to put Calypso Coral with the detailed. We'll see how that looks. I probably should have tested it out first, but you know, we're just going with it. Okay, I had it the right way the first time. I should have probably stamped with the detailed image first because you can't see it as well because it's lighter, and then stamped over the top of it in the solid image. Good morning, Janelle. Oh, you got a notification that I was on and then you fell asleep. Oh, that's too funny. You must have needed that sleep, though. Catch those Z's when you can get them. Okay, I think we're all done with our stamping. Oh, okay, so it's your birthday. Let's put Celebrate on the inside. So I brought Celebrate from Boardwalk Fun. And should we do this in Mossy or should we do this in Espresso? What do you guys want to see? Mossy, Espresso, Mossy. I'll go with Mossy unless I see Espresso pop up. You could do some in Mossy and some in Espresso. Got kind of like an ombre look going on with my stamp here. Well, what is going on? This ink pad is weird since I re-inked it. Well, we're going with it. Okay. I either did not do a good job re-inking, or I do have some weird spots on my ink pads, so not sure what's going on there. Maybe I need to just spread it out more. Okay, let's glue our insides. How pretty. I just love these colors. This is a great color combination. Okay, now we'll add dimensionals to our labels, to the backs of our because. I should have maybe did some of this last night, so you guys didn't have to watch me put all this stuff together. Looks a little windy outside. Just saw out the window a bird feeder swinging away in the breeze. What about out of the catalog? Does anyone have a favorite stamp set out of the new catalog? Or one they didn't think they would like and now have to order it because somebody did something amazing with it? Okay, so we'll add our because. And that'll go just above our line here. And offsetting them again, but making sure you can see that ribbon through the center. So card design number 2, look how easy these cards come together. A little putsy maybe, but they're oh so pretty. And then again, we're going to make a knot with our ribbon. So one other thing you guys can put on your calendars, there's several of us who don't get to go to on stage, me included this year. And I'm keeping this open for customers too, but I'm going to do an event while everyone is gone so that we're stamping and not feeling sad and depressed that they're all seeing all the new goodies and things like that. So keep your calendars marked for Saturday, March 14th. I'm going to do an event here in the Hive. And depending what I do, I'll probably do an online version of it. Probably not that day exactly, but somewhere on the calendar. Karen, I will say I was a little bit like I liked the stamp set for the Easter set, but I wasn't quite sold on it until we had the escape here and I saw how pretty that paper was in that set, and yep, now I need to have it. So again, we're going to just kind of tuck our bow in right there. Mine was definitely, I loved Boardwalk Fun. I gravitated to that one right away because I cannot wait to be scrapbooking with it. I made 4 pages with the scrapbook kit that coordinates with it. And it was so fun to scrapbook with. So I can't wait to do more. Really, Karen? Come on now. I'm kidding. I mean, who else is going to cause trouble? You got to bring your halos. All right, gems. You can do white gems. You could color these gems. One of the cards, I colored the white gems and made them mossy, but I thought you could get away with white ones on this one. Karen seems to always sit at a table and she gets herself in trouble all the time. Now, she says she's innocent, but I'm not sure. I came in on the escape on Friday afternoon. There was a whole lot of hoopla going on Friday afternoon in here. It was quite the party. Kind of sad I missed out on it all day. Did you guys actually get your cards all finished that day? Okay, so card set number 2. All right. Oh, we got a book fold for the next one. So this is where you're going to see all 3 layers, and this is where I colored those pearls, the white ones, with the mossy meadow. And then we've got 3 different colors here. We've got calypso, petal, and gold here for our words. So once you've burnished everything, it's more fun to be in trouble. Karen wears that sweet, innocent look, but you know, we all know. You had 3 left to finish. Well, that's pretty good that you only had 3 with all the shenanigans that were happening here. Okay, so the first thing you do, so we have our book fold. So this is a longer card, so you're 4 1/4 by 11, and then scored at 5 1/2 and 4 1/4. So you're gonna take and you're gonna glue this down, that piece. So we've got that. Let's see. We should glue our words together. That sounds good. Now, you will have to be careful in your kits when you get this. There's a really, really tiny dot that goes on your just above your J there in gold. I left mine at home because I just had this feeling I would lose them. So I'm not putting my dots on. I'll put them on at home, but just be aware that they're very, very tiny. So your because comes with 3 layers also. So lots of different ways you could layer up these words. So you can layer up, you know, with just the gold and the petal pink, like this. Or if you wanted a bigger border, you could use this and go like that. So it just really depends what you want to do with your words. But it's nice to have options. I like options. I know some people would say more options, more decisions, but I like options. I don't think you can ever have too many options. That's just my opinion. Might be a little harder to decide, but I would rather have too many options than not enough. Okay, so now our chest in gold goes over the top. And pretend there's a little gold dot there. Okay, so those are put together. We are going to cut our DSP. How's that sound? So bring in your trimmer. You will need the sheet here and this sheet. Okay, so this has like the almost like Lost Lagoon on the back, and then this has the brown flowers on the back. So this piece here is 4x4. So make sure you cut it in a direction you like. Oops. Okay, so we have those three. And then your coral piece here, this one is going to be 1x4. So you're gonna just cut a 1-inch strip. Okay, I think her blades are different than mine as far as the order. Her score blade versus cutting blade, because I keep getting confused for some reason. Okay, so that's our DSP for this one. Now we can glue our pieces together. So it looks like I'm gluing all of these upside down right now. Let's pray I put them on my card correctly, right? All right, and then we'll glue our strips together. Now at home, you could definitely take these and change up the patterns if you didn't like the patterns that I have. Okay, so before you glue on your strips, you need to add your ribbon. I didn't even check to see if I had enough ribbon to do all these cards. Let's hope so. I have to say, one thing that's been nice, even though the temperatures have been negative here, we have had sunshine for the last several days. So that is one nice thing that we have had, is even though we've had the yucky temperatures, the sun has been shining. So I am grateful for that. So is anyone going on any fabulous vacations during these winter months yet, or looking forward to a vacation? Two of the girls that I work with, one went to Hawaii for 3 weeks. Now, she does have family there too, so she's visiting family, but still, she went to Hawaii for 3 weeks. And then one of the other girls went on a cruise with her kids and things like that, and some of her extended family. And then after she got off of that cruise, she went back on another cruise for like a week. I'm like, huh. And then I got Bella, who is going to Hawaii in the end of March here with choir. So Mom's a little jealous that she's doing that. Other than that, no big plans for us this year. Bella was hoping we were doing a family vacation, and I said, well, between her going to Hawaii and graduation party and college and all that, I said, probably not going to do anything big. We hope to maybe get to the Dells this summer, hit one of the water park hotels up and do that kind of stuff, but no big vacation for us. Kimberly, you finally have some sunshine to soak in. Sitting by a window, yes. One of my clients yesterday was sitting in our, front area, and had come a little early, so she had some time to sit up front, and she goes, oh, the sunshine felt so good coming through the windows. I said, that's how we get our vitamin D here in Wisconsin in the middle of winter. I agree with you, Karen. I'll take sunshine any day. It's when we have all those winter long days where it's just dreary every single day, and we have snow or rain or sleet, and then you're driving in that. Yes, I will. Even those of you who got the snow, I feel really bad for you. And we had the negatives and the super cold, but I can hibernate. So, and I can craft. So, I think I would rather take the cold than having to shovel a foot of snow or anything like that. But I can guarantee you, as soon as it hits 40 here again, everyone in Wisconsin is going to be digging out their shorts and their flip-flops and going, woohoo! Okay, so we've got our layers all together here. Now we're going to bring in our just and our vellum piece. Now, really cool thing. Now you do have to be careful a little bit with some folders, but not all folders. But you can emboss vellum, and it gives a really pretty look to it. almost kind of like you get a little bit of two-tone with it because it becomes a brighter white with that. So we're going to stamp our because on here in Calypso Coral. Oh, you've had a knee replacement, Kimberly. Yeah, that kind of like, that ends up sucking all your vacation time. That's no fun either. I said my only vacation will be in my backyard, which I can't complain. I have a pool, so, but I took the week off before Bella's graduation party, you know, to do everything, make our house look fabulous, you know, that kind of stuff that you do before people come to your home. The cruise next year with Christine. So I would really like to, and Glenn would love to go to Alaska. So I'd really like to go, but here's my thing. I don't know. Good morning, Suzanne. I don't know if, so Landon has an opportunity for a band trip, but I'm not sure how the band works their trips. With the choir trips, it is based off of seniors and juniors go on the trip, and if there is room, they will invite sophomores and then freshmen to go along. So there is a band trip in 27, and you know where these kids are going to Orlando. They're going to go to Universal, but then from there, they're going on a cruise. I told Glenn, we are supervising that one. So I may be going on a teenage trip instead, but I don't have all the details of all of that yet. And like I said, I don't know. He'll be a sophomore next year, so I don't know if he will be eligible for the band trip. Like I said, I don't know how they do that. So I don't know. So it's all kind of up in the air, but I would really love, Alaska's not on my bucket list, let's say. Like, I would like to go to Alaska, but it's not at the top of I'm more of a, which is, you know, kind of surprising because I'm a hot box, right? I'd rather go someplace south or tropical or something like that and sit on a beach and in a pool but I know Alaska, Glenn would absolutely love it. So I don't know, maybe we'll let Landon go on this band trip and then we'll go on the Alaska trip if someone wants my kid. Or if his siblings would watch him while we're gone. So now we need to put our just. We're going to put just on here. And because Mary, you're planning on coming to the end of February to Wisconsin. So are you coming to stamp with us? Are you coming here for an event? That would be super exciting. Karen, are you going on the cruise? I don't even know who's all. I've heard a lot of yeses for the cruise, but I haven't heard too many that have like put it on the calendar, they've booked it, and all of that yet. I kind of gave Chris the idea to do a stamping cruise, so, you know, I think I should go on it, right? You were in Alaska in 2013. Oh, think of the changes, right? But I feel like a lot of people are going to Alaska in 27. I have 2 clients that are going in 27. So might be a popular destination that year. So now that we have those on there, you can place your glue behind your words, and then this goes in the center. Like that. Lake life is the best. That's true. Sitting by the lake, sitting by the water in general, I think is the best. Oops, I don't need to put a label on that one. So you go to, you're a homebody, will you vacation in Michigan in an Airbnb and go fishing and boating? There is nothing wrong with that. I will admit, as I've gotten older here in life, I have definitely, and maybe that was part of COVID too, become a homebody. And I never used to be a homebody. I was a girl that was on the go all the time, and you know, my kids were younger, so definitely always going to sports and things like that. So but we are really enjoying country life, and I am completely okay with just staying at home, sitting in my pool, or watching out my windows at the critters and the animals and things like that. So I get it, you guys. Like, being a homebody, there is nothing wrong with that. And honestly, I have so much at home to do that I never get the time to do, that it's nice when I can sit out in my garden or get a project done around the yard or anything like that. It's nice to just relax, unwind, and even if, you know, you're not far from home, it keeps you maybe from doing some of those chores and things like that too. You know, just not feeling guilty about not doing the dishes or the laundry or whatever. So I tied a knot and I taped it on. So that's one way to do it. Or I prefer to take a little piece, thread it through, and then tie it on. So you can do this either way. The water it's very calming, and I have found that I really love, I have a really cool floaty. It's almost like a beanbag chair. And I sit on that sucker, and, you know, just the little motion of my, you know, jets going in the pool or whatever, and floating away out there is very relaxing. I've been known to take a nap or two out there during the summer. Okay. Look at that. When I was a kid too, I loved to be, we'd go to Elkhart Lake all the time, and I'd be out in that water all day long. My mom would be yelling at me to come take a break from the water, and I'd be yelling back, no, I don't want to get out. We took our kids to North Carolina, I think it was in 22, and did a beach thing there, and my kids loved getting up and watching the sunrise over the water and watching the pelicans. I have to say, they do not look graceful. They look so graceful gliding over the water, but when they actually go in the water, they just plop in the water. They look really ungraceful, and they look like they're harming themselves, you know. So here we go. That is this one. We have to do our insides yet. And just because I feel like could be many things, so it can be you've been on my mind, Could be many things. A thank you. So this one I'm gonna put, you've been on my mind. And we will do those little flowers again, I think. But this time I'm gonna stamp the Calypso Coral. First. And I'm gonna leave these other two blank. Did you guys see what I almost did? I almost sunk that stamp, my Calypso Coral stamp, into my crumb cake. That would have been a travesty. Ah, you'll be crafting for the Leapers event. Very nice. Miss Mary Lemke will be here. She'll be staying at my house for that event. That's right around the corner here. That's only a few weeks away. And I'm bringing in, I have Flirty here. I don't need Flirty. Suzanne, you'll catch the replay later. Thank you for joining in. And I think this time I'm going to do this full strength once. Ooh, look at that. I love doing different stuff on the inside of my cards. Sometimes you can really dress up the insides. Now, you'll also have lots of paper left over that you can also cut a strip and put DSP on your envelope flaps too. So that's an option for all of you to do with your leftover paper if you don't want to make more cards when you get this kit. One. So this is what, card number 3. So we have 2 more to go. And I'm going to, so on my original card, I did the white and I colored them with my Mossy Meadow blends and made those Mossy Meadow. But I've got lots of coral here, so we're gonna use coral because I love coral. Oops. I picked up 2 at the same time. I couldn't do that if I tried. Okay, there we go. Very, very pretty. Okay. Now for, ooh, this one's fun. Okay. So for this paper, you are going to need the paper that we just used right here. Okay, so you're gonna bring that piece back in. You're also going to need this paper here. It has the green on the back. And this one here was from the first card, and it's got the polka dots, okay? So what you're gonna do first, we're gonna cut each card, or piece of DSP from each one of these sheets. at 3 3/4 by 5. And then decide with this sheet which direction you want your little dashes to go. If you want them going up and down or going sideways. Okay, so now that you have one of each of these, I'm going to use this one here. Bring in a ruler and a pencil. And on the left side, you're going to mark down at 1 1/4 inches. There, and then 1 1/4 inches on the bottom. So both from the top and from the bottom. And you flip it over, and on the right hand side, you're going to mark it at 2 from the top and 2 from the bottom. Now, I picked this lighter shade so that I could see my pencil marks. Now, what I'm going to do with this one is I am going to cut all 3 sheets at the same time. And the reason that I'm doing it that way, my cutter can handle it. So make sure your cutter can handle it. You got a good sharp blade on it. But the other thing is that each one of these pieces is going on a different card. So one piece is, the top pieces are going to go on one, the middle piece, and then the bottom piece. So I want to make sure that these all line up really, really well, and I don't want to have my cuts off, or they might not line up properly. So you're going to stick this in here. Make sure you have everything lined up really, really well. And you're going to take this score line here. I shouldn't say score line. Your pencil line and my pencil line here. Actually, your 2 bottom ones. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong ones. So you've got one here and one here. Make sure you're holding this down really well so your paper does not move. Okay, so this is my bottom. Now, we're going to do the same thing over here. So here's my score, or my pencil mark, and here's my pencil mark. Make sure you keep everything flush and together. Okay, so now we have 3 pieces like this. So this is how we cut it. This is the measurement here. Now my drawing isn't, you know, what it should be, but this gives you an idea, and this gives you an idea here. So now we're going to bring in our card bases. Mary, you've always loved moons. Okay. So we have all of our pieces here. I'm just going to have you pull out your Calypso Coral piece, and each piece is going to go on a card. So we're going to take this middle piece here, or this bottom piece I should say. That's going to go there. This one's going to go here. And this one's going to go here on this card. And then your middle, you're going to do the same, but you're going to start opposite. We don't want the same one here. So we'll put it here. A floral one over here. So you're putting all your opposite patterns, and a green one here. And then this one over here on the end needs the polka dot one. This one needs the floral one, and this one needs the green one. So each one of these mats has one of each pattern on it. So then these can get glued to your card base. Should probably put the glue on here so you don't make a glue mess. Like I just did. Went through the hole. And you should probably erase your pencil mark if you can see it. So it goes like that. So we're going to do that to the next ones here. There we go. And our final one. So now the only thing that you have to do when looking at these is look at your flowers and which direction they are going, and then that can decide how you're going to put these on your card bases. So make sure you're looking at the direction of your flowers. Okay. So there's that. Now we need to bring in our ribbon. We might use up this ribbon today. Now this was not a full ribbon, so this was like, so you'll have lots of ribbon left over too when you get this kit. So this is going to go over your middle panel and your bottom panel. Now, how many of you like to do stamp-a-sacks? Do you like doing multiples of the same card all at once, or are you guys not fans of that? I tend to get bored when making multiples. Like 3 is fine, but I know a lot of times I don't do many of the team swaps and things like that because I don't like to make 20 of the same card. I'd rather make 20 different cards and use multiple different stamps and things like that. I feel like both of these should go this way, but then my DSPs are going in the same direction. I don't know. I don't know. Put it whatever direction you like. Okay. Now, with these leaves here, you have 2 different leaves. You have a shorter leaf, and you have this longer leaf. This longer leaf, you're going to cut off the 2 bottom pieces. And I would cut them out nicer, don't just chop at them, because you're saving this for another card. So I cut that middle piece out. So you got a middle piece here, and then this one flower is attached. So you just have to round it just a little bit. And then take that middle piece out. And don't cut off any extra leaves. I mean, you can if you want, but. Okay, so put these aside. These are going to be for our last card. So, Stella these babies up. I'm going to add some dimensionals to my leaves. I don't have any nails right now, so hard for me to grab these little dimensionals. Okay. So one will go on the top and one will go in the bottom, like so. And then you have your flower here. That's gonna go like that, okay? So I'm just putting my leaves on. You could put your flower on and then tuck your leaves. However you want to assemble this. And it doesn't really matter which leaf you put on top and which leaf you put on the bottom. You can change it up like I did. Okay, so now stella up your flowers. And like I said, there is no perfect lineup for these. Okay, pop these up now. And then add your flowers. So your flowers are kind of going over the middle of your ribbon here. Like that. And then these can get glued onto your card base. So we have our crumb cake card base. Make sure you burnish the edges of your card base. Like I said, I did all of that last night when I was kitting this up. So now it's time to stamp. And I'm going to use I Think You're Amazing. With crumb cake. How many of you own this set? This was an online exclusive that came out, was it November maybe? And then on the inside, maybe I'll put happy birthday. I feel like I can never have too many happy birthdays. Ta-da! And then we'll bring in our petal pink. And I'm going to bring in Flirty Flamingo. And we're going to stamp that detailed image first. And then we'll stamp the inside of our flower. So we've got Flirty Flamingo here. Oh, look at that. How pretty that is. Nice and bold. So we've got that. And then bring in the inside. And you know what? I'm going to do it in Flirty Flamingo stamped off. How's that sound? A little bit different, right? Wow, so pretty. And then there is a little middle piece here for our flower. And I'm going to stamp that with espresso. Look at how pretty this flower is. Okay, so now that we have our insides all stamped, our sentiments ready to go, all we need to do is adhere everything. We'll put our insides in first, pop up our sentiment, and then we will be on our final card. So Stamp-A-Stack is always really great to make when you need a bulk of cards done, like Christmas cards or anything like that. So there we go. We're just popping our label on there. We'll add a bow. Add our gems. So once again, we're going to put a little knot in here. Anybody else coming up for the Leapers Retreat in a few weeks? Oops. Wow. Try that again. And be full of ribbon shreds, the type this class has done. Now, you could put it in through here if you wanted to, or you could put it here on the end of your card. I left my flower a little close to the edge, so I'm going to put that one there. Might do something a little different with each card. There's enough room over there. So make sure you leave enough room to put your little knot. I guess I didn't pay attention to what I was doing there. So there's that. Now our gems. So I'll put one, oops. I lost my stickiness with that one. Like that. Gosh. I love this. So does anyone have a favorite card so far? Okay, there we go. And time for our final card. Here it is. So this one here, you've got your crumb cake base. You're gonna have a piece of vanilla here. So we just need to cut our DSP. And it looks like it might be tricky to cut, but it's really super easy. So bring that green piece back in that you already have here. And we're using the pattern from both sides here. So keep that in mind. I want, this piece is going to be 2 3/4 by 3. So I want to see which way. Look at that, 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. So you need 3 of these. So we got 2 out of that strip. And we'll come through and cut another one. And this one we're going to cut just a little bit bigger. Let me see. No, we're going to cut it like this, 3 3/4. I don't want to screw up on this, so we're going to cut it like this because this is how I know I want my pattern to be. By 2 3/4. So we've got that. Okay, so here are 3 pieces for that. Now we need some square pieces. Hello, Regina, welcome. This needs to be 2 7/8 by 2 7/8. Let's see if I can get 3 out of here. Yeah. So just making a bunch of squares here. Now, had I measured this right and stuff, you could have cut this strip off first, but I didn't know if I was going to have enough. And, you know, when you're on live TV, things are just different. So like I said, you could cut that strip off and then you would have a strip that you could lay on your cards or whatever. So we got a square, and then we're gonna cut it in half on a diagonal. There we go. So the cutting for that is done. Now, you're gonna glue your triangles. Karen, you like the last one that I finished. And it's a kind of a fun, you get 3 cards that look very similar, but slightly different, with the patterns being different like that. And it's a great way to show your DSP off. So now you're going to put the straight edge flush with your vanilla edge. Okay, bring your next one in. So like I said, you'll have lots of DSP left over to make all of these cards again. So you for sure have a whole half pack left, and then, gosh, I want to say probably a quarter of a pack left when you're all said and done of the other ones. So I think one sheet we might have used a little bit more, one of the floral sheets. We used more of it, but so lots you can do. Okay, so there's that. Then you need some crumb cake sheets, and we're gonna glue our floral part now on there. I feel like these colors too would make this would make a really pretty sympathy card too. We're going to adhere this to our card base. You guys, check out this embossing folder too. I love this embossing folder. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll turn it around on the other side. You might be able to see things a little bit better. It's just a real subtle embossing folder. Yes, Becky, you can get this class yet. It's a $60 class of $60 plus the cost of shipping. I just glued the wrong thing. Got distracted here. That happens to me. Squirrel. So if you want, Becky, you can send me an email or message me on Facebook or call me. Here's my information. You guys can always find me on Facebook, Glitter and Ink with Gina. You can email me at ginaalbulo@gmail.com, or you guys can give me a call. So those are the places to find me. So send me an email and I can get you all the information on how to get this. Now, if you want shipping with Christine, I don't know if you order from Christine or not. She's doing shipping next week. Let me know and I can get this all prepped and ready and get it shipped out with her shipping next week. Otherwise, I can send your package separately too. Doesn't matter. Okay, these pieces here, we're gonna pop up. I put glue in my fingers, you guys, in case you wanted to know. They're sticky. Okay, so these go in the center. So it's nice because you can put this card this way and do horizontal or vertical with this card. Now I decided, I actually like this card vertically, but then in the end, I went with horizontal just because I only had one card that was horizontal then. And so I felt like I needed two to be horizontal to even things out a little bit. But it could be done either way. And I didn't bring my others. I only brought one of each sample, but I actually did that. The original card that I made with this was vertical. And then always be aware of how your DSP goes. How do you have your flowers going? Or in this case, really, it's just kind of looking at the stems mostly. Okay, so now we're gonna stamp our sentiment on the vanilla, and we're gonna go with "You're a Great Friend." We're going to stamp in espresso. Oh, I just stuck my finger in the ink pad. How many of you have done that? And then these can be, again, whatever you want these to be. They can be a happy birthday. They can be a thank you. They could be a thinking of you. Lots of different sentiments that you could put with this. Okay, so now we have some green labels that are exactly the same. And we're just going to put them together and offset them a little bit. I'm making a mess. Okay, so these, I know, that's my husband. He's like, you've got one on your elbow, you've got one on your stomach, you know. These dimensional backs go everywhere. And I often tell the story, Christine's first escape that she had, she did it in a hotel. And it was so funny because there was a trail of dimensionals going from the conference room that we were in and into the bathroom. So it was just kind of funny to see that, you know. It's another form of glitter, I say. It just kind of leaves a trail wherever you go. And no matter how much you vacuum and do all that, you still find them everywhere. Okay, so now we're gonna flip these over. Add a little bit of tear and tape. More to the, where the your is great. You're a great, I should say. So I'm putting my tear tape over there. I'm gonna have it more on the left side than on the right side. Or nothing is worse is when you have something that you put glue on or whatever, and then you put your elbow down and you're looking all over for something and it's stuck to your elbow or back of your arm or whichever. So we're just going to weave this back and forth a little bit like this. Do that on each label. Angling the ends. There we go. So, so pretty. And I love having this little bit of gold. But it's not just solid gold, just speckled in there ever so lightly. Okay, now because this is a little bit thicker ribbon, I want it to stay put. So I'm gonna put a piece of tear tape over the top of it. You don't have to do this, but sometimes I feel like when you got a wider ribbon like that and it overlaps the other part of the ribbon, it doesn't always stick nice and sometimes will come apart on your card, and I don't want that. So, of course, Wink a Stella up these babies. I don't know if you guys can catch this online, but the Wink of Stella on these is so pretty. Looks so pretty on vellum. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of adhesive on the bottom part here, and this will go in the corner here. And then we can add our label. And I print my label to the left also. Look at that. Simple, pretty. I have to say, I'm so excited that Stampin' Up! Brought vellum back. That was one of those things I really missed when they took it away. I love to use it, you know, to make vellum leaves and like this when you want to fill in a space a little bit, but you don't necessarily want more color. And like I said, I got a great lineup for all of you. For next month's technique, we'll be focusing on vellum paper and different things you can do with it. So very excited to bring that to you guys. Some fun things you can do with vellum. Well, I would say not too bad, about 2.5 hours. We've got 15 cards done. You've got plenty left over that you could create envelopes. You could stamp the front of your envelopes and then your envelope flap. You've got plenty of DSP that you could put there. Okay. This one, what should we do? What should we do? Let's put some greenery on the inside. We'll bring in our mossy meadow. Bring in my scratch paper here. So I'm only going to put a little bit of the leaf on. Our sentiment, let's go with happy birthday. So we'll stamp that in espresso. Let's see, what else can we put on here? I think you're amazing, we can put on one. And on the third one, I appreciate you. So lots of different sentiments that you can choose. I think I'm gonna flip this one over. I feel like it's stamped too high. There we go. All right, mossy meadow. And have like an ombre leaf here. Look at that, that's kind of cool. I don't know what I did with my ink pad. Like I said, I'm gonna have to check it out again, but it's giving me a little bit of a ombre feel to it. There we go. Okay, now we just add this. Thank you, Mary. So if you don't have this set, I suggest you get it because it makes for some beautiful cards. Now, I have pieces left over, you guys, so I didn't do something. Oh, we gotta go back to a card. Remember we cut those leaves off? I didn't add them to a card because that was, I think, the first or second card that we did, and I did not have the leaves yet. So we're gonna go back. I'm like, why do I have these leaves left over? There should be no leftovers. Okay, so there's this. We'll add some of these crumb cake dots because they're gorgeous. Ugh, Absolutely love these cards. Okay, so we have that. Slide that stuff over. Okay, so our very first set of cards, we had that light petal pink flower on here. And earlier on this card, we had you cut 2 of the leaves off. That's where these leaves go. So bring those back in. So these are the very first card that we did. So of course you're gonna wink a Stella these up and just have a little bit of leaf coming through there. You could cut these apart if you wanted to place them a little more strategically. And like I said, just tuck them in. Like that. Don't forget to wink a Stella. So 15 beautiful cards. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 designs, 3 of each. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I appreciate you guys joining me. So like I said earlier, this set is available to order. If you want shipping with Christine, you need to order by this weekend. Cost is $60 plus the cost of shipping. If you're on the fence about it and you let me know later, I'm happy to ship your package separately. Or if you don't order from Christine and you just order from me, I will definitely ship those back. Remember, I have lots of other classes available for you guys to order. This is your last week to place orders and to earn those bonus bucks. So for every $50 you're spending, you're getting a $5 bonus buck. Then in February, so starting February 3rd, you get to redeem those bonus bucks. So you can redeem them all on one order, or I think in several orders. Let's see, what else do we have? Starting February 3rd too, those of you who have thought about maybe you want a discount, you want to be a discount shopper, or you want to have fun and come stamp with me all the time, and you want to join my team. Stampin' Up! Is offering for $125. You're going to order $125 worth of product for $99. But on top of that, they give you other supplies, business supplies, and you get the new Stampin' Positioner included in that. So it's an additional $49 value. So what a really great deal and a great way to join my team. So if you guys have any questions about any of those things, let me know. Oh, and product of the month is coming to an end January. Now, product of the month is one of those things, when they run out, they run out. I have not heard, so somebody, if you know something, let me know. But I have not heard that they have run out of the January stamp set. That is the product of the month. In order to get the product of the month, you could only get one, and it's with a $75 order or more. And then it's at $5 for that. So in December, we had the, it was really pretty blue DSP. You could get that for an additional $5. This month, it is a wonderful stamp set with nice sentiments on it, really pretty font. That's $5 also with a $75 order. That's the only way that you can get those products. Now, I believe both products are still available. Don't quote me on that. I'm not for sure. Last I saw, they both were available. So if you wanted both products and you haven't gotten either of them yet, just know that you have to place separate orders. So you have to place two $75 orders to get both products. You cannot place a $150 order and add both to your cart. You can only get one per order. So just keep that in mind. Karen still thinks that January is available. And last I saw, December was still available too. Just know that with the product of the month. Now, anyone who places an order with me, $75 order, whether you're on my team or you are just a customer, there is a group of us that Christine created. So I think there's like 10 of us in this, and we each create a project with the product of the month, and there's tutorials to go with each card. So anytime you place a $75 order with us, or you've placed a $75 order on my team, you're gonna get that tutorial for free. So there's like, 10, I don't remember exactly how many of us, I'm just gonna go with 10. So you're gonna get 10 free projects that you can either copy or use them for ideas, whatever you want from all of us. So lots of great things came in with the January, I should say December, but we sent it out in January. Came out with that. So I'm really excited to see what everyone does with these sentiment stamps. Because last time we focused just strictly on that paper and some really beautiful projects. But now that we have sentiments, you're going to see people bringing in different stamp sets and different papers and things like that. So it'll be really fun to see what everyone creates this month with the sentiment stamp. So I think that's what I have for all of you. Check back at the beginning of the video. I have all my classes listed. I hope to finish up the card buffet today, and so that Christine can show things off in her showcase. And I have the scrapbook workshop that is Valentine's weekend. I think it is called, I always get it mixed up, Exploring Nature is the scrapbook workshop. So we'll have that coming up, Morning Create coming up also, and maybe one more class at the end of February. So lots of great things in store for all of you. As always, if you guys have any questions, please reach out. Please like and share my videos. When you like and share them, you're getting them out there for other people to view me and see me, and that helps me grow and it helps me keep stamping with all of you. And when you guys do that, make sure you let me know that you shared by commenting that you shared either on YouTube or on Facebook. A lot of times I post this video on Facebook afterwards, and then I have a drawing at the end of the month. So I have to do December's yet. I kind of fell behind on all of that, but hopefully we'll get that in January kind of all done and shipped out next week. So those are my goals. But in the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week. Stay warm. I think there's hope for us later in the week that the weather will warm up, and keep on stamping. So until next week, have a great weekend. Take care, everyone.